Hello and welcome back to the channel, and just in case you're new here, my name is Mike, and in this video I'm going to be talking about 5 of the most badass women in all of horror. We like to call them final girls, the ones who can live on to tell the story, right? But I couldn't do such a great video alone, so I recruited one of my good friends, Michael, aka the Scream King. He's going to be starting his own YouTube channel real soon here for the horror community to enjoy. He's a really cool guy. It's my pleasure to call him a friend and check him out right now.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael, or you can call me the Scream King. And of course, I'm gonna be here representing myself to explain that who I am is a YouTube channel beginner person trying to start out there. I do want to bring horror videos, horror movies, horror TV shows, everything horror, and of course video games. I am a gamer myself. A lot of fun video games, scary video games, and of course gay shit. I am part of the LGBT community myself, and I just want to be myself, express anything related in general of the LGBT community, and I'm here. So thank you, Mike, from This Is My Design, and I hope you guys subscribe. And I know it's a little rough, my surrounding right now. I'm in the process of moving, but I really hope you guys subscribe and stick with me, and I will do the best I can to bring more content. Thank you.
I told you guys, he's awesome. Just wait for that channel to drop. I'm telling you, it's going to be fucking awesome. And with that being said, let's slice right into it.
Going on to start off with our top 5 is my choice, Aaron Harson from Your Next 2011. The movie is basically a mystery home invasion that occurred during a nice snowy day from my memory. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, but what I do remember is that the final girl, Aaron Harson, she's a kick-ass survivalist. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to set up traps. She's basically doing a Home Alone movie, but rated R version with a bunch of deaths, a bunch of kills, and a bunch of acts on doors. Yeah, it's pretty intense. But if you do love that home invasion, fighting back style movie, I would recommend watching Your Next, especially watching The Final Girl. She is my top 5.
My number 5 pick is going to be a final girl that is known, a final girl that is loved, and that's going to be Nancy Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Nancy comes in last place for me only because we're looking at women that are badass. Now, when it comes to being a badass, I'm not just talking hand-to-hand combat. I'm talking everything, the whole package. And Nancy certainly deserves to be on the list. She was able to outsmart Freddy. She was able to set up like Home Alone type shit with the traps and really overcome him, to beat him. And honestly, her bravery to face Freddy and even come back in a sequel to face him again. She was never afraid. She put those kids before herself in the third one I'm talking. And she was able to take down Freddy, to take him on face to face, and do it like such a badass and such a pro that she is. She is one of our beloved final girls. Heather Langenkamp, Nancy Thompson. She's my number 5.
Moving on to number 4. We have number 4 coming in as the movie Happy Death Day from 2017. And that's going to be Tree Geltman. That's going to be the main character who basically is just trying to celebrate her birthday, even though she was partying it up the night before and having a wild night. Unfortunately, throughout her day of her birthday, things just took a turn by her dying and coming back to life. Kind of like Groundhog Day, but with a slasher. A serial killer on the loose. And the serial killer has a baby face, and she's not afraid to outwit him, do some small tricks, figure out how to survive the next day after she just died from getting stabbed multiple times or falling from the roof or getting hung by the serial killer. There's so many ways for her to survive from him. And it's basically an epic movie that that it would be awesome that if you were in her shoes, if I died a bunch of times, I would have been like, all right, girl, it's time to kick some ass again. So she's a really good final girl, my choice, and she comes in at number 4.
My personal number 4 final girl is going to ruffle some feathers, but she's still on the list, so don't hate me too much. My number 4 is Laurie Strode, Jamie Lee Curtis, right? She's got to make the list, and you're wondering, why isn't she higher on this list? Quite honestly, the only reason she's not higher on the list is because I really had to think to myself, if we're talking a straight badass woman, right? We are talking final girls, but we're talking badass women. She's a badass, there's no doubt about it. She takes on the pure essence of evil multiple times, multiple different story veins, and in some of them she even overcomes them. But you know what? When you think about the original Halloween, right, the 78, she had to get to that level of being a badass, and she became the final girl, right? But she didn't come out the gate being this ass kicker. It took time for her to get there. Now, when she did get there, though, she is quite the badass. If we're talking Halloween 2018, we're talking the current storyline in the Halloween franchise, she's an absolute badass. It took one attack from Michael Myers, one night in 78, for her to turn into a full-blown Rambo. Straight up. Like, she has a freaking hidden armory in her house. Like, one attack turned her into Rambo. But, Sidney Prescott got attacked by Ghostface 5 times, and she only had one little pistol. Laurie Strode is a badass. She's number 4. She had to make the list.
All right. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Going on to number 3 is... Going on to number 3, that's going to be Sidney Prescott. And I've chosen Sidney Prescott from Scream 1996 is because she knows how to survive a horror movie herself. Even unfortunately, she got involved with. So she knows that you shouldn't go up the stairs, man. You should go out the front door that's right in front of you to get away from the killer. You should never have sex doing a serial killer on the loose. And you should also never say, I'm gonna be right back. So she survived up to 5 films. Hopefully she'll survive the 6th film. And in each movie, it's such a fun mystery thriller of who's the Ghostface that's trying to get Sidney Prescott every time. But it's such a fun ride to see her outwit the killer every single time. And it's played by Neve Campbell. She's badass. If you've seen that movie Wild Things, yeah, just watch it. She's a girl. All right.
My number 3 is a final girl that is rarely talked about and quite frankly is super, super underrated, and that's going to be Mary Beth from the Hatchet franchise. No one really talks about Mary Beth. Not a lot of people talk about Hatchet in general, which is a crime within itself, and it needs to be talked about a lot more. But Mary Beth, when we're talking about a badass, we're talking about now, Mary Beth was portrayed by 2 different actresses. The first name slips my mind, I'm so sorry, but Danielle Harris from the second movie on took over the reins of playing Mary Beth. But either Mary Beth you want to talk about, doesn't matter which one, it's the same character, right? She is an ultimate badass. You're talking about Victor Crowley, one of the most badass, unpredictable, and ruthless killers we have in the whole genre of horror. And you're talking about this little 5-foot-something girl that literally kills Victor, not once, but twice. Of course, he's just a ghost in essence. He comes back every night. We know the story. But she kills Victor multiple times. Multiple times she kills him. Goes back for him. Is not afraid to knuckle up with him once again. All the way fast forwarding even to Victor Crowley when she is in crutches and she cocks a shotgun and she's, I'm waiting for you, motherfucker. Something like that. Even on crutches, she's willing to go back and fight this monster. And one of my favorite shots of any final girl ever is her when she walks into the police station covered in the blood with the shotgun, as you can see here. It's one of my favorite shots. She's so underrated. She's fucking awesome and deserves to be on the list, in my opinion.
All right, moving on to number 2. So we have Nancy Thompson from 1984 film Nightmare on Elm Street. I have chosen Nancy Thompson because out of anybody else within the ranks I could probably choose, she had to be on the list. And she also fought Freddy Krueger, who isn't just a normal man with a mask on. It is Freddy Krueger, not a mask of burnt face. He has a glove full of knives attached to him. And he has some magical nightmare dream powers that he's killing young teens in high school to steal their souls. A lot's going on, but Nancy Thompson is just a badass woman who can just survive a monster. She basically did the same kind of concept, making some traps in her house, trying to outbeat Freddy Krueger. And she's smart, she's tough. and she can scream her life out, her lungs out. So I have chosen my number 2 of Nancy Thompson from Nightmare on Elm Street.
Now we're breaking into my personal top 2. Now my number 2 is debatable if you want to call her a quote-unquote final girl, but again, we're highlighting badass women in horror, and let me tell you something. There is not many women more badass than Kelly Maxwell from the Ash vs. Evil Dead TV series. She, from the jump, was a take no shit from anybody badass, right? She was not going to take nothing from nobody. She stood up for herself. She's brave and she's committed. She goes hand to hand with Deadites and just rips them apart. She's good with weapons, and her bravery has always been one of the biggest things about her. She's willing to do anything for her family and friends. Shows no fear. She even went one-on-one with Ruby, one of the dead ones. Well, I'm sorry, one of the dark ones, excuse me. She went one-on-one with Ruby and was honestly holding her own in a straight one-on-one with her. What an absolute badass, man. What a portrayal by the actress. And she's, again, so underrated, not talked about enough. She is honestly, in my opinion, the most badass woman in horror television of all time. So much so that in season 3, Ash even told her that when he's gone, she's going to be the leader. She's going to be the one to take over. So, hey, you get an endorsement from Ash himself. Come on. I mean, come on. There's nothing more to say. What can you say about it? If you haven't seen it, watch Ash vs. Evil Dead, and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Going on to number 1, we have Laurie Strode from the movie Halloween 1978, played by the lovely actress Jamie Lee Curtis. I know I'm probably obviously not the only one that have chosen her as the final girl, but she's a horror icon, a gay icon, a female icon, a woman icon, everything an icon, legendary, everything you can think of. She is amazing that she survived the night of Halloween against Michael Myers. She basically made a wire hanger out as a weapon that I probably wouldn't even think of. And she knows how to run fast as she can from Michael Myers, even though he just walks fast. Still, the fact that she was able to kick his ass in multiple movies within the franchise, and can't wait to see her in Halloween Ends. I know it's going to be amazing. I don't know what else to really go in depth at. She's a scream queen for a reason. So basically, I would always be rooting for Miss Laurie Strode, no matter any upcoming final girl in future movies that come out. But she is my number 1 choice for my top 5 final girl.
But my number 1 final girl for my personal list is Ellen Ripley from the Alien franchise. You guys, oh my God. Talk about a badass woman, right? Again, like, she has some similar traits to the other final girls. She's brave. She's doesn't take shit from anybody. But she also, like, takes to being a badass and just takes it to the next level. You see her wielding pulse rifles, flamethrowers, the exosuit crane lift. I mean, all this crazy shit to fight some of the most menacing monsters in all of horror, and that'd be the xenomorphs. There's a lot of final girls on my list and Michael's list as well, but none of these women can say they were able to best a xenomorph queen. That's what I'm saying. And maybe because I'm a dad and I look at Ellen as like the ultimate mom, the ultimate protector, the way she protects Newt, the "get away from her, you bitch," that great line. Maybe that plays some part into it, because ever since I became a dad, I look at the world differently. And Ripley being like a motherly type and such a badass to protect that child that she looked at as her own. Maybe that gets me in the heartstrings, but you can't deny how badass Ripley is. You can't deny Sigourney Weaver's portrayal. You cannot deny that she does not only deserve to be on a list, but my personal list, she more than deserves to come in at that number 1 spot. And of course, I want to say thank you so very much for watching, and thank you so much for Michael, the Scream King, to come on here and help me talk about these final girls, because I couldn't have done it alone. And it is an absolute honor for me to be a part of his very first video here on YouTube. His channel, the link will be in the description down below. His content is coming soon, and I'm telling you guys, he's going to bring something new to the horror community that our little group does not have yet. He's going to bring a whole new spin, a whole new side of things, and I cannot wait to see what he's going to put out. So please, if you would, go subscribe to his channel. Show him some love down in the comments. Let us know what final girls or badass women in horror that you want to talk about down in the comments below, and we'll talk to you guys about it. We'll keep the conversation going. Before I get out of here, you guys can follow me on Instagram right there if you're interested. Also, if you're looking for a place to go where you can talk, discuss, debate, post, and geek out about the same passion that we have, that you have, you can go to Facebook and join our closed group. All you got to do is search "This is Our Design HC." My wife or myself will accept you right away, and you can start talking some bloody good shit. So again, thank you, Michael, aka the Scream King. Thank you for everybody watching. This was an absolute blast to do, and there's going to be much, much more to come here in the future from not only This Is My Design, but also the Scream King himself. So we want to say thank you guys so very much. And with all that being said, my name is Mike, and this is my design.